A Study in the Strange Word is a family-friendly adaptation of A Study in Scarlet that introduces the iconic detective Sherlock Holmes and his friend, John Watson. This version is designed for people of all ages, making it easy for everyone to understand and enjoy. To make the story more family-friendly, some character names have been shortened and certain parts of the storyline have been adjusted to be less scary and intense. We hope you enjoy it. In 1859, a faraway place in the American West, there was a kind and capable man named Jefferson and a beautiful lady named Lucy. Lucy and Jefferson cared about each other very much. However, Jefferson was not part of the same group that Lucy's community belonged to. The rules of that group only allowed her to marry someone from their own community. Because of this, Jefferson and Lucy made plans to leave together so they could be happy. But two men, Drep and Greg, who were part of the group, stopped them, and something very sad happened to Lucy. Jefferson was heartbroken over losing Lucy and upset with Drep and Greg for what they had done. He ran away, hoping to find a way to make things right on his own. In 1878, John Watson finished his medical studies in London and became a doctor. After that, he trained to be a surgeon for the army and was sent to Afghanistan to help during a war. While there, Watson bravely fought but got hurt badly in battle. After months of recovery, he returned to England, but he still wasn't feeling strong, and he didn't have any family or friends to help him. Living alone in London was hard for Watson, especially because he didn't have much money. He decided to find a way to save on costs. One day, Watson bumps into an old friend from medical school named Stan. Watson is happy to see a familiar face, and they decide to have lunch together. While eating, Watson tells Stan he's looking for a cheaper place to live. Stan then shares some good news. A friend from his hospital is looking for a roommate. Watson is excited to hear this as he doesn't want to live alone. After lunch, Stan takes Watson to the hospital to meet this person. At the hospital's lab, Stan introduces Watson to a man named Sherlock Holmes. Right away, Holmes surprises Watson by saying, "You have served as an army doctor in Afghanistan." Watson is shocked and wonders how Holmes could know that, but he doesn't ask just yet. Stan then explains to Holmes that Watson is looking for a place to stay too. Holmes smiles and says he knows about a nice place on Baker Street that could be great for them to share. Watson likes the idea as he wants a new beginning after everything that happened in Afghanistan. Holmes doesn't mind living with someone who was in the army, so they agreed to meet the next day to look at the apartment together. The next day, Holmes and Watson check out the rooms at 221B Baker Street and decide to move in right away. They find that they get along pretty well as roommates. Since Watson is still recovering, he spends most of his time at home, with not much else to do. Watson becomes curious about Holmes's unusual hobbies and talents like playing the violin, knowing a lot about chemistry, and understanding British law very well. Watson also notices that Holmes doesn't seem to have friends, but he gets many visitors. One morning, Watson laughs at an article about how powerful observation can be. To his surprise, Holmes says that he wrote the article. "Observation is everything," Holmes says. "That's how I knew you were in Afghanistan without you telling me. Based on your tan skin, the way you carry yourself like a soldier, and your shoulder injury, I figured you had been in a hot place and served in the army. The most likely place, given the time, was Afghanistan." Holmes explains that he makes a living as a consulting detective, helping both private and government detectives solve difficult cases. His visitors are his clients. Most of the time, Holmes can solve cases just by listening to the evidence, but sometimes he goes out to check things in person when the case is tricky. Watson is amazed by Holmes's skills and hopes to watch him in action soon.